Hi everyone, and welcome to Friday night. It's Friday night in Cyprus, our 9 p.m. And today we had some news that we were going to be locked down for 2 weeks over our Orthodox Easter, which I suppose is a little bit upsetting because a lot of families wanted to be together at Easter, but unfortunately the coronavirus has gone out of control. Cyprus is a very small island, and we've had 1,000 cases a night, which is quite sad. And so all I can say to you guys in Cyprus, stand strong. We've got this group going on, so you're never alone. Whatever you're feeling, you post it, and that's our job as a buddy system. We want to be there for each other, and so no one feels alone, because this time can be a little bit lonely, and we're never alone though. We've got people in the group communicating with each other from Cyprus, New Zealand, England, America, all over the world. People are communicating, Australia, and that's what we want to do, and that's the true purpose of this group, is to share one thing: love. That's the sole purpose of the group, is love. And so whatever you're feeling, that's what you share, love. As soon as I said love, the first comment that came in was George Nicola, the one and only, my other heartbeat, my twin in New Zealand. I love you, twin brother George. Somebody, I can't remember who, posted in the Dare to Begin group about a soulmate, and a soulmate is the person that will cover your back when the going gets tough. They'll hold your back. Now, a soulmate for me is not, it's not a partner for me. It doesn't have to be a partner. But I'm fortunate enough to have a twin brother who is my soulmate. He is my soul. He's the one that, when the going gets tough, he was there for me. And so a soulmate is, it doesn't have to be a romantic soulmate. It can be a best friend, it can be a brother, it can be a sister, it can be anybody that will cover, that will hold your back when the going gets tough. And I am fortunate enough to have that as a twin brother. I've got that in a twin brother. I thank him and I praise the Lord that he is my twin. I love you too, twin. Now, today we are going to talk about procrastination, and especially during this time where we're going into lockdown. It's a time that we can start to move ourselves and get into the things that we don't want to do, and just start taking the action steps that we can take in order to get what we want. I want you to think about what you are procrastinating with, and I would love you to write it down in the comments. I really want you to tell the group as a buddy system what needs to be done in your life that you can get out of just existing and feeling content into getting maybe a little bit uncomfortable, because when we do things that we don't like to do, we're going to come up against resistance. But that's how growth happens. It's a bit like a lobster. When a lobster grows, it has to shed its skin where it's protected, it sheds its skin, and then it goes to the bottom of the ocean and it hides under rocks in order to grow its new skin, its new shell. And sometimes when we grow, we may feel uncomfortable, but it's through that growth that we become a better version of ourselves. And so that's what it's about. It's about growth. It's about accepting where we are now and wanting to take those uncomfortable steps to change. And that's how growth happens. Even though we might feel like hiding, we might feel uncomfortable, we might feel vulnerable, it's only then when change happens. So, just to quickly tell you, procrastination, it might be good, it might not be. I mean, it might be in the sense a good thing. Like as I said, when I was writing my book, there were times where I couldn't write. I had to leave the book because I didn't know the next part to put in the book. I needed time to gather my thoughts. So sometimes procrastinating is something we need to do because it's the creative process. However, sometimes because it's uncomfortable changing our mindset, we don't want to change. So what we do is we take the path to least resistance, where that has been carved in our mind, and we don't get out of that boredom. And so when you feel that you have to do something in your mind's eye, you feel you have to do something, it's a matter of action. It's a matter of action. It's a matter of first forgiving yourself. That means saying to yourself, okay, I forgive myself for not doing this sooner, or I forgive myself for not taking the steps I'm supposed to. First of all, when you forgive yourself, you project the future you project yourself succeeding, you project yourself being the person you want to do or be, and then you use the 5-second rule and you start doing, you start acting, you start becoming that person that you want to do. Just do the work, do the hard routine. Now, before I go on to the next step, I want to say hello to Peter. Hello to Peter. Good evening. And Andre for joining us. Thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate it. And of course, the twin brother George for joining. And let's go on to the next part. This was taken from my book, Enough is Enough, A Helpful Guide to Managing Addictions. And I've put just an outline of this to help you with procrastination in the file section in the Dare to Begin group, in the Dare to Begin Life Coaching group. And it's on the top where the file section is. Yeah. And so you can download all the stuff that I've got. Just a quick note, George has written to Peter, truly amazing. Big hello to Peter and Andre. So to Andre and Peter. That's one day I will do a live with George on, okay? And we'll both do a live together. And so George, I'm putting you up for that challenge, okay? We're going to do a live together. And we'll call it, Sorry, Why Not? You won't do it. Because everybody wants to meet you as well. It's not. So, sold, you're going to. Well done, George. So, first of all, first of all, you have to become specific in the goal that you want to do. You have to become very, very specific in what goal you want, because it's like driving, it's like being on a ship with no captain, crew, map. You know, if you don't know where you're going, you're just going to be circulating round the port with nowhere to go. So first of all, when you set off to achieve something, you have to be clear. Okay, so first of all, you set a goal. You become specific in the goal you want to achieve. Then you have to set a deadline. And you can't say, I'm going to make €1 million in by the end of the year. Or you can't say, well, okay, maybe you can if you've got a way of doing it, but it's pretty unlikely. So you've got to, when you set a deadline, you have to be realistic. You have to be realistic when you set a deadline. Okay, so the second point is setting a time frame. So you set a deadline. Now, Nikki, hi, I think I was talking to you the other day. Was it you? When we were talking about when you set a goal, there'll always be obstacles that will come up. Okay? This is the law of nature. No matter what you try to achieve in life, as soon as you say, I want to do something, bang, there'll be obstacles. There'll be roadblocks. Just, I want you to set a task and you'll see that there will be roadblocks, 100%. It's like the law of nature. So be prepared for those roadblocks. No, it was with Andre. It was Andre. It was with you I was talking today. I'm sorry. Andre, it was with you. We were talking with Andre that as soon as we set off to do a goal, as soon as we set off to do something, bang, there'll be roadblocks. You have to set in your schedule the roadblocks. Try to predict what roadblock is going to happen. Like with me, I've got something to tell you guys. I wanted to get somebody has stolen my passport and my ID. And I said to Andre today that I wanted to get I wanted to renew my passport and my ID. Lockdown, okay? Which means the government departments might be closed. Okay? That is a pure example of a obstacle. And that's what happens. As soon as you set off to do something, you've got to anticipate the obstacles that will happen. And that's exactly what happened to me today. So be prepared for the obstacles. They're going to come no matter what. Just be prepared. And even if you set off to do something, you might set off to open a business, right? And during the process of opening up that business, you find that you don't want to take the responsibilities of controlling a business. And if the business goes bad because the economy's gone bad, you're going to go bankrupt. And the hours that you've got to put in and the responsibilities of employing people, and maybe you can't afford, and maybe whatever, maybe in the process of reaching your goal, maybe you decide that you don't want that goal anymore. You reserve the right to change your mind at any given time. That's what life's about. You reserve the right to change your mind at any given time. And so what you should do, first of all, when you do set out for a goal, Be specific with what kind of goal you're going to achieve. Number one. Number two, you set a deadline. Make it realistic. Don't make it something ridiculous. Number three, anticipate the roadblocks because they're going to come up. And the next step is actually to do the action steps, to write them down. Today, I'm going to download the form. Tomorrow, I'm going to fill the forms out. The next day, I'm going to take my photo to send it to the government. The next day, I'm going to post the letter or the post or whatever you're going to do. That's what it's about, the action steps. And remember, during the process, you reserve the right to change your mind at any given time. My Paulina, my princess, has joined us. Hello, my princess. I love her. She's my daughter, my youngest daughter, Paulina. So that's basically it. Now, reward yourself, okay? Reward yourself, because even a small step that you've made, reward yourself. And you might want to work on your goal. Just set a time, maybe 10 minutes a day. And you'll find that dare to begin. Once you start, that 10 minutes might become an hour without you realizing it. But dare to begin. That's what it's about. So I am going to end this today right here. Remember, we've got the downloadable resources in the file section above. Firstly. Secondly, we have a lockdown, but we have each other. So we're never alone, ever. And if you've got sleepless nights, do post in the group, because in New Zealand, they're awake, and in Australia. And so when we're sleeping, the Kiwis and the Aussies are awake. When they're sleeping, we're awake in England and that, and the Americans are somewhere in between. But so wherever you are in the world, this group, there's always somebody there for us. And post your post, because this is the blood of the group. It's sending posts to each other, and it's communicating with each other. And I encourage you guys, if you can, message each other, get to know each other. That's the whole aim of the group. We are the family. That's what we are. We're family. That's what we are, family. And we've got all of us together. True, Bub? That is true. I call George Bub, okay? So you can call him too. Yeah. So I wish you all a very good evening. It was an honor having my other heartbeat on today, my soulmate, my twin brother, George. It was an honor to have him on, the first live he's been on since we started this, because I think it's about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, so he couldn't join us. And so thank you for joining us, twin. And thank you once again to Andre for joining, and Peter, God bless you, and Nikki, and Paulie, my girl, thank you so much for joining. I love you all. God bless you all, and have a lovely weekend. Tears. Love you. Bye.